Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host, LB in the building, y'all.
What's up? What's up?
Listen, man, we miss you. We miss you. You just been going to and fro. Hey, look, but you brought something home with you this time, didn't you?
What's that?
You was missing old Mackenzie. You had to bring her back.
Yeah, I had to bring my girl back home. Get out of college first year, man. Bringing her home. Yeah, it's good to see Kenzie girl, baby. Kenzie girl.
You left with 3 and came back with 4.
Exactly.
Man, and right on time, man. Pac Jam is in the building, y'all.
Absolutely.
Hey, and we can't. Every time we bring Pac, man, we got to bring his arch rival, his nemesis, his bro, a guy that have to keep him in check. Cause me and MB, we struggle keeping this guy in check. So cause he get a little beside himself and act like he done did it before. So we bring a 12-year vet on him to say, hey, hold on, settle down, son.
Come on, put him in place.
Let me let you know how it really goes down. Mr. Chucky Atkins, what's going on, Chuck?
What's going on, bro? Listen, man, I'm at peace right now, man. I ain't won with Pac Jam today, man. I come in peace today, man. I'm not winning nobody, man.
Hey, long as he don't get out of line, huh?
No, I ain't gonna bother him. I come to a point to where I have to respect everybody's opinion, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
How to turn other
I just want to go ahead.
Hold on. So Chuck, Kwame Brown done scared you too? That's what that sounds like.
No, Kwame ain't scared me. I mean, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? That's my teammate. My end of the bench partner, man. I mean, I feel Kwame. I feel Kwame in a way, man. They got to leave that man alone, and people really don't understand that Kwame ain't really what they think he is. So, he's a smart, intelligent guy. He don't bother nobody, and he can hold his own.
Well, I always thought in the NBA he was a quality role guy. I mean, I think it's in his resume. When you go from team to team and not team to team and getting traded and stuff like that, he getting deals. He getting new deals when he go in the team. So for me, that makes you a quality role guy. I thought it was crazy for Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson to attack him because I look at them as quality role guys. So how can you talk about yourself?
Well, I just think that a lot of times when guys get these different platforms, you can use your platform in a variety of ways. You can either be an asset or you can be a nuisance. And I think in this situation, Kwame is a guy who really hadn't said a whole lot about, a lot of stuff. Because, guys like Kwame Brown and JaVale McGee have been the butt of a lot of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And that guy, to his credit, hadn't said anything.
Right.
And it's to a point now to where, hey, man, listen, man, I'm in a whole different stage of my life. I'm raising my kids. Leave me alone, bro. And if y'all ain't gonna leave me alone, then I'm gonna get y'all off me. And I can respect that.
He definitely getting him up off of Pac Jam. He doesn't attack anybody who's everybody. And I think when you look at some of the things that have been said, and now all of a sudden he getting a lot of retractions, Pac Jam. How do you feel now about the same guys that attacked him earlier now apologizing?
Well, they apologized because Kwame came with receipts. And that's what make everybody apologize, because Kwame Brown, his argument is factual. His argument with them is not opinionated. Their argument, their debate, their clowning him was all opinions about him as a person and different things as Chucky just spoke on. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and not defend myself as, a grown man who's no longer 17, 18 years old, because what y'all talking about, I was a young kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Now we talking 20 years later. So being we here now, I'm going to address this matter. And that's what he did. He addressed each person, man. And I'm like I said, I haven't, from our talks with each other, I've been supporting Kwame Brown throughout this entire ordeal because I didn't like how that was played because I felt once you realize you was wrong, they should have said, "Hey, bro, we misspoke." Da da da. But to keep antagonizing the way they did, man, was just out of pocket. It was out of place. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So I just think that because it went beyond clowning. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Especially
absolutely.
when Charlemagne the God got involved and started mentioning this guy's brothers and sisters, people he's never even met in his life, a father he's never even met. Like, come on, man, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Right,
even like what Stephen A. Smith did the other night. You know what I mean? Because to me, that was classless. Because Stephen A. is like, because to me, Stephen A., I give you credit for your achievement, your journey, but at the same time, you got a major platform as being one of the black faces of NBA media. And you were doing it a disservice when you had did what you did the other night, attacking Kwame Brown, showing a blooper tape. Just like you made a blooper tape, you could have made a success tape. You could have
right.
showed him catching alley-oops from Kobe. You could have showed him doing great things too, because this is a guy now. Let's not forget he's made over $100 million in his career. So let's stop it. You know what I
Mm,
mean? He wasn't a guy. He wasn't a guy that was in the league like Jamarcus Russell. Didn't go past year two or whatever, not the league. This guy had a career. So let's cut it out, man. You know what I mean? So I
right.
agree with Kwame on that.
Okay. Now let's get right into it, Chuck. You know, you know who you done entered this purple and gold area, and I don't know how you played there, and you ain't purple and gold. What you done entered, and don't think I ain't see you out there talking bad about us when we lost the first one. Then all of a sudden, you became a prophet when we split 1-1. You know what I'm saying? Now you see the future.
No,
Bring out the brooms.
it's not that I've seen the future, bro. I'm a basketball purist. Like I ain't a lot. Sometimes I just say stuff just because I know certain guys take it personal. You understand what I'm saying? But
He got that Burger King Wi-Fi right now. But again,
if I'm a basketball purist, absolutely not. I think that those guys they have talent. They're young guys and they're young basketball lives. So they don't have enough experience to beat the purple and gold right now, regardless of how they're playing.
Right.
So I won't sit there and be like you didn't think that I knew that LeBron James was gonna go home and evaluate and assess the game and Kyle Kuzma didn't have 0 points and uh, AD didn't play the game that he's capable of playing and they only won by a couple of points that those guys weren't gonna come back and redeem themselves. They're competitors and they're the defending world champions. So I knew that was coming. You understand what I'm saying? I knew from the minute I watched game two how LeBron James. I know the look. Most people don't even know the look.
Right. He got the look right now, MB. Calling right to me.
Exactly.
When they do certain things, and when certain things happen to those guys, they're gonna respond, and that's what champions do.
So are you calling us the champions like we told you was gonna happen after last season when we pulled it down?
No, I'm not. I'm not calling you. I'm not saying that you guys are gonna be champions this year.
Oh, there you go
I'm saying
again.
I'm saying you're gonna beat the Phoenix Suns in a series.
And
What
that's
what
it.
needs to happen with the Lakers is they need to hear.
look like he's trying to say we need to hurry up
You
and
don't
end that
necessarily.
series.
It's about them taking the legs out of them for the future series because the playoffs get heavier and heavier and tougher as
Hey, we got the Burger King Wi-Fi.
and if you allow the Phoenix Suns,
Hey, you look like you in a restaurant. Hook up to their Wi-Fi.
I'm in a restaurant, man.
That's what I said. You ain't hooked up to them.
He don't realize he keep going in and out.
Hello.
Chucky, you going in and out. Chuck, you there?
Oh no, he going in and out. Well, looks like, listen, well, we
Go
need to
ahead.
dive right on into we need to dive right on into what's on everybody's mind, man. And that's in Dallas. We need to dive right on in, man. We need to dive right on into Dallas, man.
Well, I wanted him to finish, but I think he was saying what I think the Lakers. He's afraid that they may be spending too much time in this series, and that's gonna hurt him down the stretch. I think that's what he was.
I want to see what he was saying.
He was trying to say about that. I will tell you this though. I don't see. Oh, go ahead, Chuck.
I was just saying. I was saying exactly what you were saying. I think that the Lakers are allowing these kids to stay around, and if they end up playing the Utah Jazz or the Denver Nuggets or these teams like that with no legs, it can become a difficult situation. And depending on who they end up playing, you still have to play the champions in the Eastern Conference in the final. So, you're the better team. You're the more experienced team. You're the defending champions. Go ahead and get those guys out of the way so that you can save your legs and rest up. That's all I'm saying.
In part of it, though, Chuck, a part of our reason for not being able to do that right now is because we still trying to get to form as a team because we ain't really played together. Our two big guns been out. The last quarter of the season.
I understand that, bro. But what I'm saying is everybody's gonna have to deal with that problem. New Jersey's dealing with the same problem. I mean, Brooklyn is dealing with the same problem.
Correct.
Denver's dealing with the same problem. Utah just played with Scottie Mitchell for the first time. So everybody's kind of still dealing with the same issues. But the thing is as the Lakers, you're dealing with, you got two of the top three players in the league in the whole game, and you guys are just coming off a championship. So there really isn't any excuse because LeBron James. If LeBron James on the top of his game and AD on the top of his game, it don't matter who else really play well for the Lakers. It doesn't matter.
Well, I think that's my argument, though. I don't feel like LeBron James or AD are at the top of their game just yet.
I mean, listen. We one thing we know for sure is that when LeBron James is focused and he ready, he is a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
He can take any team and take it to the finals, regardless of what team he's on. Now you're putting in with other guys. My thing is, like guys like Kyle Kuzma, it's been a no-show.
Right.
KCP hasn't been the same guy he was last year that he was in the playoffs.
Montrezl Harrell, we need something out of him.
Montrezl Harrell, I think the Montrezl Harrell thing is just a coaching thing where the coach really just isn't confident in what he can do because he hadn't had the kid. Those are situations that the Lakers, in my opinion, shouldn't be going through because regardless of what's said, I can always resort back to the guys that were on my team last year that I know that I have confidence in, and I'm gonna confide in them and say, "Hey, man, get us over the hump." That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That made perfect sense. Now let's
Chucky,
transition. Go ahead.
Chucky, what you think? One guy that seemed like he been standing, stepping up, especially during their absence, it seemed like he was showing up in the playoff is Schroeder. What's your thought about him?
Well, I think Schroeder is a guy. He's a young guy. Sometimes, and you guys can understand this. Some guys, you just put in situations and they're not smart enough to understand when they're messing up or when they're playing well. They just out there playing. Schroeder just out there playing, and he gonna play his game.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? He's a smaller guy. He's quick as a cat, and when he's making his outside shot, he's gonna be unstoppable. And you got to think again, he's playing with two of the top three guys in the league. So, from a scouting report standpoint, can LeBron James beat you? Absolutely. Can AD beat you? Absolutely. Well, Schroeder, if you got those three guys, who would you rather? Who would you rather beat you in a game?
Exactly.
Would you want
Right.
Schroeder to
Dennis
beat you?
Schroeder, baby.
Right. So
Yeah.
teams are gonna go, well, let's play Schroeder head up, and if they don't, like right now, Chris Paul,
Yeah, he can't do it.
that ain't gonna work.
Right.
From a leg standpoint, he ain't youthful enough to stay up with him, and then again, he gets injured every year at this time of the year.
Right.
And
Yeah,
tell
speaking
me,
of that, looking at Chris Paul, look at his numbers. I mean, why he hasn't been as effective as he was in the season? Because during the season, it was some whisper about him possibly being an MVP candidate and whatnot. But he's been on the milk carton, seemed like, during this series.
Well, the regular season is totally different from the playoffs, and y'all guys know that. Like Chris Paul get away with a lot of stuff in the regular season, and the thing that is mind-boggling to me is, from an organization standpoint, we all know that Chris Paul is injured every year during this time of the year.
right?
So if anyone needs load management during the regular season, it's Chris Paul. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How about this, guys? I don't understand why he's the MVP candidate. Because there's only one or two teams. I think there's only one team that went undefeated in the bubble last year.
Right.
So that lets you know that the Phoenix Suns was turning the corner and becoming a playoff team. So now they make a trade for him. My team just went 8-0 in the bubble. Why is it now all of a sudden because we make a trade for Chris Paul that we've jumped the hurdle? Like, no, he wasn't the reason why we jumped the hurdle. He's just a piece. He's a leadership piece.
Right.
Let's rest him during the regular season so that he can be the Chris Paul that we need him to be in the playoffs. But no one is thinking about that, to me, and even Chris Paul's standpoint. Like, Chris Paul, man, come on, bro. You know by now that regardless of what you do, you're going to go down as a Hall of Famer. But in the grand scheme of everything and your total body of work, the only thing that you really haven't had is playoff success. So why wouldn't you say, hey, man, listen, man, I'm going to chill out? Because the Phoenix Suns is a young team. It ain't like they're a veteran team. They're a young team. You can go certain nights to where, hey, DeAndre Ayton can win you the game. Booker, a.k.a. Boy Wonder, can win you the game on most nights. You don't necessarily need Chris Paul.
Well, let's move on from that piece and get to, part of the reason I brought you on here. What's up with them LA Clippers, man? Pac Jam, you kick it off, tell them what's really wrong with him, and then Chuck, we're gonna give you an opportunity to defend your team.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm
a Brooklyn Net, first of all. I'm a Brooklyn Net.
Boy, oh gosh. No, all that hate we took last year.
Hey, listen, before y'all get started, listen, man. I'm with the triple threat now. Don't do that.
They go.
Chuck,
there they
Chuck,
go,
I'm glad you caught that. He was like, your team, Chuck. He was like,
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead, Pat.
Listen, again, you came in my city, man, 2 years ago. You came in my city, man, with your little New Balance contract, man. You had a little king. You had a king ornament hanging from your keychain, telling everybody, man, it's your city now. You created all the uproar about, hey, I come out here to LA, man, not to join LeBron, but to beat LeBron and take over LA. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, when you do that, because see, my thing is what's to me that's need to be highlighted is we're seeing that we're seeing that
Why?
Kawhi Leonard cannot handle expectations. That's what I'm seeing. Because you're not expected to be a champion. See, it was before when you winning as an underdog, nobody's talking about you. You ain't your name ain't your face it on every commercial, and you won a championship. But when your face is on every commercial and the hype is on you,
Yes,
now
sir.
what's going on? Because you told throughout this season, last year was we need smarter players on this team. Doc wasn't changing nothing up. This was after you was up. When you was up 3-1, nobody never said we needed new players. Nobody never said we need to change something up until the backdoor sweep came. You see what I'm saying? Now we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, guess what? They did everything you wanted. They brought in Rondo. You said you need a Rondo, playoff Rondo. Everything you want, you got it. They told me that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are the two best two-way defenders in the league. They can give you 30 and shut the next man down. I'm watching a 22-year-old kid that they're actually starting to compare to a legend from French Lick, Indiana. Larry Bird.
Because of you.
Because of you. I mean, that's blasphemy to compare this kid to Larry Legend. But because of your defense, you ain't fighting through no screens. This man is shooting wide open shots all over the floor. This man is dunking on people. He told Patrick Beverly the other night, he said, you just too look. That's what he told. That's what he told. He told you too small. And my thing is, it's like, but he gives a pass though. I have yet to see guys like Mr. Chucky Atkins and guys that's in the league call this dude out. Ain't none of y'all called this dude out. None of y'all have called Kawhi Leonard out yet. But for 18 years, y'all have called out every misstep and half step of LeBron Raymond James. So I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Why is Kawhi Leonard getting a pass right now, down 2-0? You take the bottom of the season, the last couple of games, not to play the Lakers, to play Dallas. You down 2-0. You be 3-0 tonight, down 3-0, and y'all won't call him out. What does he got going on what y'all won't call him out? Because he don't talk a lot? Is that why y'all not calling him out? Because him and Paul George you gave up 5 first-round picks from 9 to infinity to get Paul George over there. You still don't re-sign with the team. Paul George did, but Kawhi Leonard didn't. I'm trying to figure this out, man. When y'all gonna call that dude out, man? Because he is not that guy.
All right, Pat Jam, why do you have to call a guy out? Like you gotta think about this. The reason why Kawhi is what he was, what he is because he struck where the iron was hot, buddy. You can't be mad at him because at the time of his free agency, he ended up winning a championship.
Right.
Think about this: the championships that Kawhi Leonard has won, he's beating the king. He's beating LeBron James.
No.
So
he didn't beat him. He didn't beat him. Stop it,
well, he's been on the team. Well, okay, when he was in San Antonio, they played against the Miami Heat. It was Kawhi Leonard that was guarding him. That was his matchup.
Right, and then I'm glad you brought it up. In that same series, he scored 6 points. Kawhi Leonard scored 6 points 2 times in that series. He ended up with the MVP, Finals MVP, which was a fraud.
Pat Jam, it doesn't matter how many points he scored in a losing game. Right. He was the guy. His team won the series, and LeBron James was his matchup. That's no different from Andre Iguodala winning a championship and coming off the bench for the Golden State Warriors. Anytime you win a championship over LeBron James, whoever his matchup is, they're gonna be glorified, buddy. Whether you like it or not.
So that one time is put. His name should never be mentioned with LeBron, Kevin Durant. It should never be mentioned alongside this. It should be.
I understand that, Tori, but that's not how things work sometimes. Okay, sometimes.
So where is he at right now? Where is he at right now?
Sometimes when you get to the Super Bowl, they're gonna match up the superstar quarterbacks over everybody else, and they may not win. They might not be the reason why the team won, but they're going to get all the credit just because that's the matchup. That's the marquee matchup, brother.
Right.
So what's going on right now then? He down 0-2. What is the problem now? This ain't got to do with LeBron.
With the Clippers is they have a bad mix of guys. They've always had a bad mix of guys. They don't. Okay, name me somebody. Okay, over the last few years. Think about this. Last year, when the Lakers won the championship, you got 3 tiers. You got your guards, you got your wings, and you got your down low guys.
Right.
Name me somebody on the Clippers team right now where you can just feature them down low on the post.
Nobody.
Okay, so you think
Kawhi?
you just gonna Kawhi?
I'm saying that's about it.
Right? Yeah, no, Mike, you're right. You're absolutely right. But guess what? Regardless of Kawhi's still gonna take all the blame, but he's still scoring. Look, he had 41 points.
41 in a loss.
Yeah, right.
In a loss.
So you gonna get mad at him for having 41 points?
No, you told me. No, they told me he was a two-way guy, so he could score and shut people down.
Yeah, that's
Hey
what
man,
they
listen,
said.
man. Hey, listen.
That's what they said.
Everybody can say
Defensive
what they
player
want to
of
say,
the year.
but think about this. We ain't seen nobody stop that
Luka.
kid from Dallas. Nobody.
You're right.
He
But
giving it
Chuck,
to everybody.
they
And I
did
feel
a
it
few
was a
years
problem
ago.
last
They
year.
felt
Like
like
the playoff game last year, he was killing them last year.
right.
Killing them
Right.
last year in the playoff game. Nobody could
Hey,
stop him.
hey, Mike, he giving it to everybody. He ain't just
Exactly.
giving it to the Clippers.
Right.
You know, if it would be one thing if he was just playing the Clippers and he was just
You
having,
know,
he was scoring 40 points. He giving it to everybody, Pat Jam.
but come on, like again, though, Chuck. I think the bigger issue is the Clippers team again was assembled to win it all. Okay, they
I
underachieved
think
last year, and now this year it seems like they have
hey,
zero
bro,
chance.
hey,
And
bro,
so that's what we're talking about.
and guess what we end up doing? And guess what we end up doing?
What?
The LA Clippers could be the Dallas goddamn Cowboys of the NFL. Every year they say every year we supposed to win it. We every year the Dallas Cowboys will assemble our team to win it, and we ain't won nothing.
Hey, Chuck, let me ask you this question, because me and K-Lou had the same talk on the show about this before. Okay, if this was LeBron playing for the Clippers and they was losing like that, LeBron would get all the blame, right?
8 up.
Why isn't Kawhi getting the blame? Because that's what me and K-Lou. Why isn't Kawhi getting the blame? Why people not pointing fingers at the Kawhi? Is it personality? Is it what? What is it?
Well, I think in this case you have different opinions. LeBron James is the face of the NBA. So because he's the face of the NBA, yes, he's gonna get blamed for everything that happens. Kawhi Leonard is a guy who happened to who they say, hey man, he's big enough and strong enough to guard LeBron, but he's still not LeBron. But we still got to make money off of him. So he ain't gonna get the brunt of the blame because hey man, Kawhi Leonard is in LA.
Okay.
He's from LA.
But come on, Chuck. Let me break in, Chuck. But you got Paul George getting more blame than Kawhi Leonard.
And he from LA.
Well, the reason why is because think about this. When you talk about and this is what I keep telling y'all. When you talk about the LA Clippers, are you stopping Kawhi Leonard, who's a 3-time champion, or are you stopping Kawhi, or are you stopping Paul George, who ain't never won nothing, but they put him on that level?
Right.
The number one guy you got to stop when you play the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
You rarely see that guy have bad games. You got right. Paul George, who's supposed to be on the level of Kawhi Leonard, but having bad games and having weaker matchups than Kawhi.
So Chucky, let me give you the history of this, because that's what we were saying last year, the downfall. I was like telling K-Lou, I said it was too many other fall guys, that's why I didn't go to him. But that's the issue. Being a superstar, like you said, quarterbacks get all attention, right? They glorify that.
Right.
Why isn't Kawhi getting that with stuff going back? Why is he able to get a pass? That's what. Right?
Well, he's able to get a pass. He's able to get a pass because again, every night he's taking on the brunt of the other team's defense. And guess what? At the end of the day, Kawhi could say, "Man, I don't want to do this shit no more. I got 3 championships. Paul George ain't got shit."
right.
See what I'm saying, man?
Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah.
Because that's what the talk we've been having.
I don't want. Listen, Mike. I don't want 3 championships. Every night I'm playing against. I got to guard the best player on the other team. I got to score all the points. Like, what do y'all want me to do?
But he's not doing that anymore, Chuck. Let's be honest now. That's not occurring anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, he had 41 the other day.
Right. He's become a one-way player. He's no longer a two-way. And I think Pac Jam problem, along with mine, is just 2-3 seasons ago, they telling us he's the closest thing to Michael Jordan. When it came to being able to be great on offense and great on defense, that's what I mean.
Y'all know just like I know, man, that the media can hype guys up to be more than what they are. You know that. Come on, again, the man, we can't fault him for he struck while the iron was hot.
Right.
Hey,
Okay.
look, LeBron James ain't the two-way player, ain't no two-way player no more either.
But
You're
nobody
right.
said he is.
Correct.
They told me Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are the best two-way players in the league in the NBA right now.
Who said
And I'm
that?
watching
Who said that?
22-year-old
Who said that? Who said that, Bat Jam?
This is what the national media is saying. This is what everybody's
Okay,
saying.
When
who?
they were assembled,
It's-
that's what it was touted as.
Who said
Last
that?
year when they got together.
How many of
everybody that speaks on NBA
those guys?
basketball.
Listen, what I'm saying to y'all is, how many of those guys that are saying that are out there on that basketball court,
None.
having
None.
to deal with Luka Doncic? How many of those guys out there have to deal with Luka? Come on, man.
He's a problem.
Come on, man.
But okay, let me say this then, Chuck. So you mean to tell me?
It look easier than it is, bro.
So you mean it? But let's say this though. Basketball X and O wise, you mean to tell me there's nothing that they could have came up as a team to get a win by now? So basically, you're telling me that there's nothing they can come up defensive schematic wise to stop this guy to win a game.
Seen nobody in the league stop this kid.
No, what I'm saying is he went home last year.
Again, like I said before, bro, I can see if he was just doing that against the Clippers. He doing that against everybody, bro.
No, I'm talking about winning a game. Look, Dallas Mavericks not gonna win a championship.
You're right.
They're not. So what I'm saying is, can you beat the team? That's what I'm saying. Can they beat the team?
Because guess what?
Can the Clippers win a game? Can they win the series? I understand what Luka's doing, but Luka's not winning the championship. Luka will lose against Denver. Luka will lose against the Lakers. Luka not winning the championship.
Sorry, we don't know who Luka gonna lose against. We don't know who he gonna lose against right now, bro.
So you like Dallas against the Lakers?
We don't know what. Look.
He like anybody against us.
Golly.
Hey, Chuck, let me ask you this question. Is there any defense adjustments that the Clippers can do to slow this kid down from being effective?
Yes, they need to double team him every time. They need to double team him and get the ball out of his hand and not let him get the ball back.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
If we're gonna lose the game, we're not losing by Luke to Luke.
Right.
Okay, well, Chuck, explain this to us. What happened to that mindset and attitude? Because, I mean, let's be honest. We're not seeing, like you said, a lot of teams make that adjustment.
Well, sometimes you have coaches who are in there who take certain things personal, and they have their different philosophies. No differently than Pat Riley to say, "Hey, man, I ain't double teaming Michael Jordan. I don't care what happened. I don't care how good he is. We're not double teaming."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that happens in the game.
Right.
Man.
So we can't sit there and blame Kawhi Leonard and Paul George over coaching deficiencies that obviously this kid is killing us.
You ain't no shot at Doc Rivers. I'm not gonna let you stand here and take shots at Tyronn Lue.
Hey man, listen, man. I ain't taking shots at I'm not taking shots at anybody. I'm saying this. As much as you love Doc Rivers, and I love him more than anybody, than all three of us.
Right.
He helped me. Yeah. But ain't but one coach in the history of NBA that lost 3-1, been up 3-1 3 times and lost.
Right.
Well, it looked like Tyronn Lue gonna get 4 old. How about that?
Well, one thing that I'm hoping that Ty Lue does, because I mean I'm looking at the game from this perspective. I know people on both sides of the spectrum. I got teammates and coach colleagues that coach for the Clippers. I got coaches and teammates that play for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm sitting there as a fan of basketball saying, okay, let me look back and see what both guys are doing. And hopefully, I would love to see the Clippers make a run and make the adjustment to make it a series. But right now, Luka Doncic is running a series.
Right. Hey, and we got a listener said Frederick Goins said that Ben Simmons shut down Luka twice this year, so they need Philly against him. Well, it's only one way that's gonna happen, Fred. Both of them got to make the finals.
Now listen. That's the same. Look. Now we just sitting there talking about Luka, but Ben Simmons couldn't shut down game Kawhi. Kawhi beat them on the last second shot and sent them home in the Eastern Conference Final.
That's true. That's
so,
true.
Tomato.
Well, look.
Hey, Chucky. Hey, quick question, K-Lou, before you go. Hey, Chucky, what about my Heat, man? What the Heat need to do? Talking about making an adjustment, man.
Good stuff.
What adjustments does the Heat need to do to get back in the series? Or is it over?
Get Kawhi in free agency?
I think the Heat again they're in a bad situation just simply because the Milwaukee Bucks has made an adjustment, right? And I'll give the Heat credit. Last year in the bubble, they got hot at the right time, and they were dogs. Like this year, you don't see the same doggish mentality out of those guys. You don't see the same cohesiveness, and even with Spoelstra. Spoelstra is playing different lineups, and he's playing guys that he like. You don't see Tyler Hero as much as you've seen him last year.
Exactly.
It's just every year is a different year, and the dynamics are different, bro.
Right. Why is that? Why you think? What is he just trying to find the right mix? And why you think you don't see Tyler Hero? Why you if it's not broke, why fix it?
Drew Holiday.
I mean, I agree with you, but I also think that like last year, they could have been playing the kid Kendrick Nunn more, and they didn't play him at all.
You mentioned him a lot.
So last year they decided to go with Tyler Hero more than Kendrick Nunn, and this year they're going more with Kendrick Nunn than Tyler Hero. So it's just like, and then they got the kid Duncan Robinson out there. I mean, Robinson out there, and I like the kid. He could shoot it, but
that's it.
At this point in time, okay, I got a question for y'all. We always talk about Kawhi. Why ain't nobody saying more about Jimmy Butler?
That's what I was going to say. Listen,
expectations
I'm
are
glad
low.
you mentioned that, Chucky.
Low expectations.
Listen. We got to stop throwing around this word superstar. Jimmy Butler's just a good player. He's not a superstar. We got to stop this. Jimmy Butler is doing what a good player does. He's giving you a little bit here and a little bit there. He's not giving you no game-changing stuff. We saw him play out of his mind one time in one game against LeBron, and all of a sudden we had like Jimmy Butler is anointed this superstar. Jimmy Butler's not a superstar. We need to stop that.
Yeah, but I mean, we were sitting here talking about the about guys taking the blunt in the blame. This guy just got $100 million in. He wasn't the best player on their team last year. I thought that Bam Adebayo was the best player on their team last year.
Right.
No one said anything about him.
They're not even going inside to him. They're just jacking him shots.
Stephen A was calling them out, the other day, especially after that game 2. He had a horrible game 2, and Stephen A was calling him out, saying he needs to step up. So I agree with you.
Well, I think expectations determine that how much ridicule you get, Chuck. I think they overachieved last year, so he was celebrated. The red carpet out, so he can really do no wrong. This year, expectations didn't really change if you think about it, because remember, they lost some of their pieces. They weren't one of the teams that gained guys. You look at Milwaukee and you say it's a different year. You definitely know it's a different year because you look at Milwaukee and they got a new look. That's not the same two teams that we saw as well. You got a dog named Drew Holiday. That's not, telling Jimmy Buckets, let's go then. Let's go. You're going to have to guard me. Pick your poison.
That didn't make a move, Miami Heat.
Right.
I mean, other than what? Oladipo, right? No, what was that dude got hurt?
Oladipo,
right? Yeah. That's the only major move they made before the trade. I mean, that was it, and then he's out for the year.
Right. So it didn't work out.
Right.
Their one move, I even forgot about that, MB. Their one move out due to injury, Chuck. I don't know if we lost him.
the
So,
Heat after making it, the Miami Heat after making it to the East.
hey, Pac Jam, this what we be dealing with you.
Listen, man. Listen. Again, like I said, Jimmy Butler's not a superstar. You know, again, he got on. He talked about he's still giving Kawhi Leonard a pass. I just don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand it.
Hey,
I really don't.
MB and I had an entire show where I spoke those same sentiments. And continuously people get on over and over and give excuses for why he shouldn't get the bulk of the blame. But I guess he's just one of those made guys, baby.
Yeah, it's just like the thing about him though. I mean, he's showing up and playing. Other than the fact, like Luka.
Listen, but at some point,
Chuck,
I
they
understand
still
that
on. They still. We're
even
back to
even
it. Go ahead.
listen,
I'm on.
even as Shuggy said earlier about coaches want to stay with their system and they're going to run their systems, they're not going to change it. But what I have noticed is this: when you one-on-one with a guy, at some point you got to say, you know what, I'm gonna do everything I can to prevent him from getting to this basket. And it seems to me there's no effort. Watching the Clippers not fight through screens, watch him just the other night, he literally let Luka just go right by him. No hesitation, dribble, no crossover. He just walked right by him and laid the ball up. Kawhi Leonard just watched him.
Yeah, but
So my thing
again,
is like,
Tori.
at what point you gonna say, you know what I mean? You gonna just step up and say, I got this dude. Because
Hey,
I remember MVP that was running through the league out of Chicago off the South Side, Simeon High School. Ran through the league MVP. 6'3", went to Memphis, played for my main man Calipari. And there was another guy under the adult statesman out of Akron, Gloria James' son. Say, I got him. Because I know he been doing all, I got him in 6'9", 260. I got him and shut him down. One-on-one, Imano, LeBron James handcuffed Derrick Rose in front of the world. At what point does Kawhi Leonard, the guy that had the crown hanging from his keychain, driving the 6'4" drop Chevy Impala, saying,
It was
it's a
sweet,
new
too.
king in
It was
town.
sweet.
New king in town had the D's and Lowe's on there. When
Yeah.
he's gonna say, this is my
It
team,
was
my
involved.
town, this is my playoffs. That's all I want to know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Or when the guy from Santa Clara, California, Paul George, when he gonna say the same thing? Oh, I got him. I'm gonna shut me, because that's what I saw from Gloria James' son. When Derrick Rose ran through the league and he single-handedly shut him down in the playoffs. You remember that? Do y'all remember that series? Or was I the only one watching that game?
You the only one watching. Now we understand that LeBron is a different kind of good.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. You're talking about LeBron James playing against a 6'1" guy.
But the guy was in the league. It was MVP. LeBron said, I'm gonna stick him
I
at
don't
6'9".
care. I don't care if he's the league MVP or not, Toy. You talking about a 6'9" guy playing against somebody that's 6'1". Kawhi Leonard ain't bigger than Luka Doncic, bro.
Hey, Chucky, I keep telling you, listen, here's the problem with the Lewis brothers, right? When they was comparing Kawhi to James, that did it for them. They got hate.
They got to get past that because that's not a comparison.
I'm telling you, that's what when they did that, they had K-Lou, they on their list now.
Something.
Better not say no bad about LeBron and K-Lou. And Kawhi, that's what happened. So they got
That's all y'all tell me about Luka.
It sound exactly the same. Go ahead.
Because I'm hearing all this Luka's unstoppable. If the old man from Akron, Ohio, or as he says, just a kid from Akron, Ohio, Gloria James' son, happened to run into Luka and shut Luka down, I don't want to hear nobody say anything other than he did that. Because right now they're telling me Luka is unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, to the Clippers he is. Let's talk about some of these other series, Chuck, Pac Jam, get your opinions on them. The first one is super exciting. neither team gonna do anything, but it's fun to watch because these teams haven't, been able to really be on the big stage in a while, and that's the Hawks and the Knicks.
Hey, first off, man, shout out to my main man, Ice Trade, man. Shout out to Ice Trade, man. Shout out to Ice Trade, them Atlanta Hawks, man. Because again, he is making his stamp on the league, man. Trey is letting people know, man, who he is. And like he told the Knicks, I see you in the A. When he walked out, he told me, I will see you in the A, man. Trey is the real deal, man. Trey is the real deal. You hear me?
You like them in this series?
I love the Atlanta Hawks in this series. I love the Atlanta Hawks in this series.
All right, and Chuck, what's your opinion on the Hawks Knicks series? Who gonna win it?
I mean, it's an intriguing series just simply because you got two teams that have never been in the playoffs, and they're both young teams. So This is a matchup that we could possibly see for years to come, which is why I like it. Like I was having a debate last night, I really think that New York is really letting the Hawks off the hook because they're holding bullets in the chambers that they could possibly let go and open it up for Julius Randle. That's just my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, Ice Trade doing his thing. No disrespect to him. Love the kid. Love his game. But from a coach's standpoint, your job is to make sure that if there's a guy on your team that can be an asset and win you the game, you put him out there on the basketball court.
All right.
So Chuck, break that down more. So you're saying what they need to do?
Okay. Case in point. How they're playing Julius Randle right now, they're trying to put him in a box. Every time he gets the ball on the right side of the court, they're pushing him to his left because the left is going to the baseline. And they don't even care who's guarding him because Trey put him up on his top on the hand and make him go left, but there's somebody down there waiting on him. So they're pretty much double teaming him and boxing him in. Right. They're making him get saying, hey, man, we're going to double team you. We're going to leave one of your guys open for a shooter. 9 times out of 10, that shooter is R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett come out last night, the other night, he make his first 2 shots. The rest of the game, he's 3 for 12.
Right. So I think he's saying the point is put somebody out there that can knock that open look down.
Right. Because since they doubled him.
Well, one thing we know about the NBA, how many times we've seen veteran coaches who've been playing 8-9 man rotations go to the playoffs and expand that. They don't do that. If you've been riding the bench all season, sitting next to the Gatorade MV, I think you're going to be there in the playoffs too.
Which is probably a problem.
Unless there's injury.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you're right.
And that's the thing. You can't expect Thibodeau to go deep in his bench, and he only had an 8-9 man rotation for 72 games.
Oh, okay, guys, let's move on to that Brooklyn Net and Boston series. Obviously, Jason Tatum, don't really know what's gonna happen with him. He's obviously been hurt. They're down 2-0. They play again tonight. Chuck, we already know who you got. So Pac Jam, go ahead.
Honestly, I don't like where this series is going. And what I mean by that is this series is going to a place that I'm ready for this series to be over. I'm ready for Brooklyn to end this series and get to the next round because from here it's going to get ugly. And what I mean by ugly is it's going to leave basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because with Kyrie making his statement, which was a true statement, talking about I hope that the statements that are being made from the fans and whatnot, Boston has a lot of players that comes real close to the line of being very physical. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want those Boston players, a lot of no-name players who now playing, who are going to get playing time tonight, to feel like I got to do something. Because what happens a lot of times, even at the highest level, when I'm outmatched, I'm out-talented, I tend to do something cheap. Especially because let's be honest, the way Harden and the way Kyrie scores is ooh and ah. They don't score. They're not like Golden State, catch the ball, shoot a jumper, boom. Next thing you know, you're down by 30 because they shot like 15, 23. Their thing is they got N1 mixtape moves. So it's like, ooh. So my thing is, that gets to a person over. You understand what I'm saying? And I
Right.
just feel like this series is about to get dirty. Remember, I told you guys that.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting that you say
Because it
that.
got testy the other night. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. We're gonna move right along. We talked a lot
Well,
about that.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
kid. I wanted
Go
to
ahead.
stick on that Boston because I based on and you said something about Pac Jam. What's your thoughts about the comments that Kyrie made about as far as the racism in Boston and stuff like that? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that is we know that's been going on for years, from not just basketball, but even on to the baseball diamond. We know about the history of Boston fans. We know why Bill Russell didn't go back and accept his coat, his ring ceremony. We know about how outside of that arena is very racist. But what I'm saying, so I do agree with what Kyrie said about, can we stick? Let's keep this saying to basketball and not go somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying? But again, we know it's not. We know it's not going to stick to basketball. You're going to have that one. You're going to have that one, or maybe that two, even that three, that's going to say something that's going to cross the line. That's like I said. This series is set up for that because one, they're clearly outclassed, outmatched. This game, they can be literally this team that they're going against. They can be down by 30 at halftime when
But
those
yeah,
guys are in their group. And the way those guys score, and those fans, that's what makes it get like that. Because the
wow.
fans are like, we're down by 30. They're still dipsy doing us. Now here comes the onslaught of the foolishness. That's why I
Y'all
say
may
this
win the game,
game,
but we about to win this fight, huh? Is that what you saying?
yeah,
Exactly.
right. And that's
I,
where that series is going.
yeah, and
Because
I want to hear Chucky comment us about what he thought what Danny Ainge said because that was like,
Yeah,
oh
but
my god.
I mean,
that
like,
ain't told a lot.
Chucky, you there?
Smart said it himself. Y'all heard what Smart said?
Yeah, that it happens. It's
It
going to
happens to him and it happened to opposing teams.
K. Luke, give me a loo down on that one, baby. Give me a loo down on that one. Come on.
be. I
Nah,
almost made it, but I'm gonna let Chucky go. Give it our guess.
I want to hear Chucky, but I want to hit a loo down, K. Lou, on this
Well,
on
it
Danny
almost
Ainge
brought me up
comment.
to write an entire little bit about it, obviously, because I think it's, of course, with me, I did like Pac Jam. I went to Bill Russell time, all the way to even D Brown. Everybody forgot about that. After being drafted there, he didn't even want to stay. He wanted to go. He was a new draft pick there, just going to the post office. Got surrounded by police officers, laid him down on the ground. Somebody, passerby said, "Hey, that's D Brown on the ground. Y'all got," and they let him go. So yeah, that's a whole subject. Yeah. So I ain't going
Come
there.
on, I want to hear that loo down because I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, wee, this about to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
loo down on that.
That's too much. It'll be.
Yeah, because he said in 26 years as a player, he haven't. He said, wow.
Well,
Go
that's
ahead. Go ahead.
awesome though, because he's towing the line. He's all Boston. Um, let's be honest, they a little tired of him too. When it boils down to him, he brought in Brad Stevens to be that next great guy to get them over the hump. Doc Rivers, and I know I'm talking all over the place, but Doc Rivers said that it was tough to recruit there, and then, as a matter of fact, they told him he couldn't recruit there, that nobody would come. And you see what I'm saying? So, and KG is credited with kind of changing the atmosphere there, because once KG came, then it made it safe. All of a sudden, River started getting calls from free agents about coming. So it's a whole. That's a whole to do. Kyrie scratched the surface. He, you know what I'm saying? You get that cut, MB, and it scab over. Kyrie scratched that scab off. That's all that
So,
happened, and it's bleeding now.
and let me, and here's Danny Ainge's response to what Kyrie said. So just so they know what we're talking about, Danny Ainge was like, I think we take those things kind of seriously. Ainge says doing an appearance on 98.5 the Sports Hub. I never heard of any of that from any player that I ever played with in my 26 years in Boston. I never heard that before from Kyrie, and I talked to him quite a bit. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. We're just playing basketball. Players
Right.
can say what they want.
Well, you know automatically, you know who I thought about first, MB. With you. All these woke people you be talking
He
about.
ain't woke. He ain't woke. I saw he ain't woke.
You know, MB, I give all of them to you every time.
I know you give me all the one. You say they woke, and I was like, no, he ain't woke. You say they got the smelling salt. He ain't woke. He went back. If he was woke, he went back to sleep. We need to get some more smelling salt.
Right. Hey, I wanted to touch on a little football before we got up out of here.
Oh man, I wanted to loo down on that, but go ahead. We'll come back to it.
Jail. Brandon Jacobs around here, baby. MB teammate of mine. Around here trying to pull a Tebow, baby. He want to put his hand in the dirt.
And I love it.
Let's be honest with it. He was recruited out of high school more for that, for putting his hand in the dirt than running.
Absolutely was. And my thing on that is, I love the way Brandon worded that. Brandon said, "Hey, all I'm asking for is an opportunity. I'm asking for a shot. And if I don't meet the bill, then y'all send me on. But I'm just asking for a shot. So my thing is, give him a shot. Give him a shot. See what he can do. And if he get out there and he can't do it, then you send him home. And ain't no love lost. But give me the opportunity.
Right. So MB, my question with you is
with me.
Right. Will the NFL blow or drop the check down?
Will they what?
Will they drop the check down? See, Pac Jam know where I'm going. In basketball, you say, will they blow the layup? But in football, a check down is easy pitch and catch. You know what I'm saying? That's routine. You ain't gonna see many check downs to the running back dropped and him not getting at least a couple yards off of it. Layups, you never supposed to miss in the NBA. So because we playing football, we ain't gonna say will they blow the layup, will they drop the check down?
Will they drop the check down?
Meaning this is so easy for them to prove that there's no such thing as white privilege, especially in the
NFL.
So
because guess what?
It should be about 15 teams trying to bring him in.
Hold on. So let me make sure I'm understanding y'all. So you're saying that you think because the Tebow thing is white privilege?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
So no, that's the overwhelming thought process from one segment of the population right now. So let's call it that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's more relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's more where he's going to is Jacksonville. It's his home. It's gonna put butts in seats. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at personally.
But guess what? I'm not there with
MB. We talking to an audience. We got to read the room, and the room saying, "Oh no!" Listen. Immediately, one of our old teammates got on there and said, "This is what we talking about: white privilege." Another NFL player who was a teammate of me and yours immediately said that when Tebow got signed.
And that's because it is. Because guess what? You mean to tell me out of 400 kids, 400 plus kids that Urban Meyer coached at the University of Florida, there's not another kid that he's seen that he feel that didn't get a fair shot at the NFL that he may think he can do something with? Tebow, the only one. At 33 years old, Tebow's
let's get off. No, Pac Jam. Let's not revisit the Tebow talk. Let's ask the question where we are right now. He's there. He's gotten a shot.
Right.
Will the NFL blow the check down, MB?
Yes,
I mean, if I'm looking at Brandon Jacobs, I don't agree with that. It's a check down. He's 38 years old. He's going to be 39 in July. And you're talking about him making a position change from running back to DN. To me, I don't see that as a check down. Like
what? No. When I say check down, giving him an opportunity.
I don't.
That's the check down.
Yeah, I don't see it as a check down because right now you're like, okay, and I get you with your check down, the layup, like man, it's an easy shot. Give him a check, an opportunity. I don't see that. That's what.
But you do see. But wait. But you do see this as, you see what's going on with Tebow then as, normal.
No, I don't see that as normal. That's what I'm saying. I don't see that
Okay.
as a normal situation.
But we having a societal fight, MB, so you got to attack it from there.
You said what now?
We have a societal fight going on right now. So that's so you can't be so into the football piece of it. Look at it from, a 50,000 foot view. This is not football going on. And you looking at it like that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it from, okay, so for me, it's not a check down to me because it's almost like the Deion Sanders effect, right? Where he got hired at Jackson State, so then now it's a snowball effect. There's everybody else like, oh, let me get a part of that. If that's the next trend, let me get somebody that, Eddie George, get other guys to try to be head coach. I don't see that with Brandon Jacobs, unless only person that could say, okay, we'll take opportunities. Like when Jim Brown was talking about Franco Harris was about to break his record, and Jim Brown was talking about, I'm gonna come out of retirement. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated Oakland Raiders uniform. I guess if that's in response to that, but for me, I don't see it as a check down.
MB, but all he asking for is an opportunity, which means a workout. And I'm agreeing with Fred. Fred again saying bring him in for an hour workout. If he can't play, send him home. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying bring the dude in and work him out. That don't hurt nothing. That's easy. That ain't guaranteeing no roster spot. That's what they did for Tebow. They gave him a workout. He impressed them, allegedly. But they brought him in for a workout. That's all I'm saying. This is a check down, bro. Bring the dude in, work him out, say he ain't good enough. Like, that's your opinion of it. But I think 2 or 3 teams need to be calling, or they blown a check down and this thing grows and gets bigger and uglier than it already is.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, only person I think can if we're comparing the Tebow situation, if he's got a coach like the Giants, the organization with the Giants, like, okay, you're a Giant for life, let me bring you in for a workout. Those are teams that could solicit more from or benefit more. Or if he had a coach that he know that's still coaching in the league, he can pull a Tebow, talk to the coach. Hey, look, I need an opportunity, work the angle as far as networking from that standpoint.
MB, make him pay for the ticket. You show up, we'll work you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't hard. MB, you acting like a workout is a lot to ask. That's what I'm tripping out about. That like them giving a guy a workout is a lot to ask for, and that's all he's asking for.
Yeah. I guess if that
he's not asking for a roster spot. It's like you done went into. Can he do it? Man, guys are getting workouts all the time. You know that. Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal, and I think it's a check down. And I really believe the NFL gonna blow it, Pac. Now, I really think they're gonna blow it.
I don't see people like. I guess they'll blow it then if you consider check down from a GM standpoint. Like I said, it's got to be a relationship with the Giants. I can see the Giants saying, "Come on, man. We'll get it done." Somebody with connections, but to me, it's like when you talk about defense end, that's
MB. I think you in too deep. You into already him being able to do it, but to bring him in to see what he still run, what he look like, can he get through a defensive line workout? Like, you mean to tell me that you look at that as that's hard for a team to pull the trigger on for that?
I don't. Okay, Lou, like I said, I don't see too many teams that would do that, just from that.
No, I said, is it difficult for them to get that done?
No, it's not difficult at all. You get a scout in the air. Okay. Oh, if you ask me if it's difficult, no, it's not difficult. I just don't see teams doing that.
And that's why I said they're gonna blow the check down, bro.
Yeah, okay. Now that I guess they're gonna blow it unless
there you go.
It's easy to get done. If you ask me, is it easy to get done? Yeah, it's easy to get done. Like you brought about having to pay for.
Thank you.
You got a scout in there. Okay, if you ask me, it's easy to get done. Yeah, it's real simple to get done.
Thank you.
Where he live, you got a scout in the area. You go work him out, see what he got.
Thank you, LB. That's all I'm asking for.
Oh, I thought you asked my opinion.
No, exactly. See you, and I kept telling you taking it too far. I kept saying that you going too far.
Get done. Yeah, it's easy to get done.
And that's why they blowing a check down,
I
bro.
got you. It's easy to get done.
Okay.
It's easy to get done. So let me ask you this question. Do you think so if now with the whole Tebow thing, if it's other guys saying that they want to work out too, I'm ready to go, do you think they should
answer that question, MB?
Huh? No. I only got one play in my back pocket, prevent defense.
What?
He has it.
He's asking me, do I think I could play 20, 25% of the defensive snaps?
Oh, okay.
I got
Dad, he has a dad bod now. He's done.
I got one play, prevent defense.
He's done.
Victory. or offense on victory. Victory offense, I'm out there. Coin toss, I'm out there. But yeah, so K-Lou, what about, so you think, so with that in mind, say if a whole lot more of the guys, 4 or 5 other guys say, you know what, I still got something, I want to do a position change. You should think definitely they should. That's all a check down in that regards.
Yes, workouts. Okay. Absolutely. Because MB, let's be honest, 90% of them ain't gonna make it through the workout. Let's just be honest. Like 90% of them. But then let me tell you who's scary. Again, the guy that's still around here running like he still can play. And that's Terrell Owens.
And Chad Johnson.
That's why they ain't gonna bring him in. That's why this ain't. I'll jump on your side right now and say that's why this ain't no layup. Because you got a guy like Terrell Owens that'll come in and actually look better than your guys who are on your roster.
Yeah.
You know,
and brags about
it. I'm not saying all of them, but
right.
that
Terrell
number 3
Owens,
and number 4 receiver in trouble if he comes.
So let me ask you this question, because just like with so it's some guys right now that's just been removed, graduated from college right now that's begging for a workout and can't get a workout.
That's different. We're talking different right now. We're talking different because those guys didn't earn their keep. These guys done prove they can do it at this level. I think it's a completely different conversation.
Oh, you saying so? I'm talking about with the guys prove. I'm talking about changing positions. Right?
A guy that had 10, 12 in your career,
doesn't matter.
You don't have to prove you I'm an NFL player. I just played 12 years in the NFL. Right. And now I want to play another position. That's what we're talking about. So this guy done proved himself.
Okay.
Right.
He earned the opportunity.
Correct. Yeah. And now you've shown me. And now you've shown me that you've given the opportunity. See what the NFL doesn't do that the NBA always does is they look at the bigger picture, right? They scan in the scene to see, okay, this just happened there. We need to think about doing this. The NFL never goes there. So they think this is a one-off with Tebow. You know what I'm saying? They don't see Brandon Jacobs. And behind him, and not only that, D-line changing the AMB. Here go next. D-line changing the O-line. You see what I'm saying? Which I think could easily be done.
Seeing what happens,
you getting a better athlete to actually go over to the other side of the ball where it doesn't take the same kind of athleticism. So for me, my wheels start to churning and think, okay, what's next? The NFL's slow, man. They don't change, and it costs them because now again you're gonna have a segment of population when they don't give Brandon Jacobs this layup that's saying, look, there go white privilege again.
The thing about it is too that just piggyback on what Kevin is saying, the NFL biggest enemy in all of this is social media.
Yep.
And what happens in social media is when you see guys like Chad Johnson and Terrell Owens out here working out with these young kids, running these routes, running 4.5s. And then remember, let's not forget the race that Terrell Owens beat the Cheetah in. When the Cheetah gave him the 10 yards and they raced and he won. You see what I'm saying?
A year ago during COVID.
Yes. And that was, I think they bet like $50,000 they bet
on
that.
You say he gave him 10 yards? The Cheetah gave him 10 yards?
Gave him 10 yards.
Yeah.
And they ran to 60 and he didn't catch it.
Right.
And that was they bet at $50,000.
He didn't even gain on him, MB. It wasn't like he got close to catching him. You know what I'm saying?
So the thing about it is when people see social media and they see these former NFL players doing these great athletic things out here, and those same players saying, "Man, I want to do this, I can do that." That gives it wheels. That gives it the motion. to say why y'all won't give him a shot because we just
Okay.
watched him do such and such. You see what I'm like? What Kayla
Yep.
was saying.
And so because y'all teaching me on this so you're saying just from the what's the benefit from the NFL or the teams giving them a shot? These Terrell
To shut
equal opportunity.
No, Tori. From a societal standpoint, to shut the thought process down of this is white privilege for Tebow. You and I understand that what happened for Tebow, now exclude the 6-year absence, exclude the position change. This happens every time coaches change. I'm saying like a defensive coordinator move to another team or head coach move to another team. Heck, a position coach move to another team. MB and I know automatically you're going to find a trail, 2, 3, 4 guys that migrate over to that team.
Yeah, no doubt. You're going to go get your guy. Yeah.
Right. So we understand that. The broader public don't, MB. So it's easy for you and I to say, of course, Urban was going to give him a shot. That's what happens. Like you and I know that.
Right.
But that's not what the public see, bro. So that's why I was telling you that's not why I think he's there. But that's a segment of the population believes that is white privilege in that.
Wow.
And that's why I was saying the NFL being caught up like kind of you are or were before we explained this to you are thinking like you. And that's why they're going to get bashed over social media because this is a check down. Bring the dude in, send him home. Like it's a check down. But they ain't gonna even do that.
I got you saying from a PR standpoint.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But and again, they're thinking, they're not even thinking like that. And like you said, what if other guys come out? They're gonna come out. This Tebow thing that set precedent, MB. It's not. This is about to start happening, bro. This is going down now. we passed that now, and the NFL wasn't thinking about that with this Tebow move. They seeing money. Jacksonville seeing money. They see that jersey sale. He broke the internet on NFL jersey sales immediately, and we know that ain't even his real number. MB, he finna switch to 15. Still,
right.
So he about to break it twice.
Right.
Well, Pac Jam, we appreciate you coming through,
yes,
man.
Sir. Y'all be easy. I gotta go.
All right. Hey, look, we appreciate y'all stopping through, pulling up, hollering at us, because you know us. With Sideline to Baseline with MB and K. Lou, y'all, we are gone.
Peace. Thanks, Freddie.